continue to flow in quiet stillness. Along the way, the phone's battery stopped at 97% for no clear reason. It was a tiny fluctuation, never meant to be recorded. Yet this program gathers only those small, meaningless shifts. Meaning optional.
It seems that someone living behind my house came back. He was revving his car engine. And it was so loud. The really gross. I feel sick. I think he'll be here for about 4 days. It seems like he hasn't been back in a long time. Also, I felt really bad all afternoon. Through big cause, I decided to quit Instagram and TikTok. I was gonna change the cover art for every episode, but I stopped that too. I thought about it all morning. I thought I could use my old art for Instagram ads, but I failed to download them. I failed to move them. Since I failed, I thought this was a good chance to get quit Instagram and stop making cover art about AI. I used to think it was cool to master one thing, but now I think it's a waste if I don't use the tools we have. I think the whole world is moving there was people will realize there's a limit to what human can do. I fear it with a waste cause I finally learned how to make cover art. Could make many things, but for the last month I've been in a hell of not being able to decide on the art. So I'll take this chance to quit. I also found out that changing the art for every episode makes things heavy. But actually, it's not loaded every single time, so it wasn't a problem. Usually, if you know there's no problem, you feel confident and keep going. So quitting now feels like a waste. I picked a new cover art, and it was down instant. For the last month, I've been making throwing away so many decided I'd pick on and then scrap it. I did that over and over, but this time it was done in a second. The not that there I found a great one. The just that I know I'll get stuck if I worry too much. I'm not exactly compromising, but I don't have an eye for art, so I can't judge what's good or bad. But when I start, I see bad part and get greedy and keep working. And the one I picked wasn't something. I spent a month. I just picked it quickly. The strange feeling. I wonder what that 4 months was for. I think some of the one I thought about for months might be better, but I'm frustrated that I picked one with almost no effort. I'm tired, so it's good time to quit cover art and things like that. Later, I'll realize making all those designs was a waste of time, but there's nothing else I can do. I used to record podcast and work out. I need to be constant even if I just the art every time. After thinking about it, I thought about just using text. It's a bad habit of mine. Even though I have zero talent for art, I once thought about becoming an illustrator because you can work from home back then. I thought, but using just a pen with no cards, I'm doing the same extreme things now. But unlike back then, I can make things on my phone, so it's very frustrating. It's hard to keep up with the time. I'm a bit lost. It's not about following my own path or following others. It's just this era. 5 years ago, around the time of COVID, I thought a huge change for humans was coming. I was right. I didn't think starting a podcast would make me suffer this much. The cause of human greed, we always want more. But without greed, I couldn't even do this show. I think people work because of greed, like wanting to feel good or be noticed, not just for money. I don't have art talent, but this could be a place to show who I am without words. But I'm not an artist time, so maybe I don't even need to show myself. It might be better not to change the art every time. Then I just have to let go of my obsession. I know I could use the time for other things, but it's bad to stop now. After I finally got some speed, I used to feel jealous of people on others app who change their art every time. And now I can finally do it too. Apple Podcast show episode image now too. It's frustrating that this timing is when I'm quitting. It would be great if I could just start now. X is the same. After I worried and quit for years, Twitter changed to X right when I was ready to go back. Many people left them too. Why now? I should quit earlier. If I quit them, I'd be lucky cause I've done this wrong. I'm unlucky. It's worked out right when it shouldn't have. I don't wanna just make music or just make art. I wanna do both. But I can't. Next, for episode titles, I made a note of the main ideas. I wrote down things that grab people's interest. I wanna use those. I feel like I should just use all the show name I made. Who I'm doing this much. I wish I had recorded in Spanish. There are many types of listeners, and I wish I had picked a specific target. I worried about that too. I thought about starting over and picking a target to help me give up all the ideas, but I didn't. My show is unique, so so hard. Then know who to target, and I can't do much with just text for art. Next, there's an idol from Nogizaka I have a connection to. Some idols rarely never betray their fans. Some do, but she doesn't. Once she said she was buying a house for her parent. It felt like she was showing up. And I didn't like it, but she didn't betray us. There was a reason, and when I found out, I felt safe. There were rumors about her in a magazine too, but they weren't true. She never did anything to betray her fans. Seeing people like her makes me feel like I can write in my life or on this podcast, not just writing with words, but writing in the way I live. I must not do that. Next, I had nothing to do this afternoon since the show name was set, but my worries don't go away. I've been thinking about it since yesterday. It's my worst habit. Thinking too much about one thing is bad for the mind and body. Today I remembered a trauma about an English teacher who that teacher wasn't there. I might not become a hikikomori. The person had a huge bad effect on me. But I don't wanna think it's because of them. I wanna get back at them. But then I couldn't stay in the outside world. Life is hard. I can't even see them. So I can't get back at them anyway. Really, I've been thinking that my neighbors might know I'm a hikikomori. I only realized today that I've been thinking about that a lot. Today I got up the courage not to change the cover art. I told my mom that I'm quitting Instagram too. I deleted the things I downloaded. It's the courage. On a podcast site, I saw my listeners' numbers were high. Sometimes I thought about making them a theme, but I thought about the paradox of efficiency to the best to make a new show for that, but it's not what it was it. Most people want helpful talk from expert. I saw someone who blogged but their English learning process and people read it. I thought about talking about the process of starting something, but I don't think anyone is doing that. I couldn't find anything. Sometimes I run away to do things in 10% of the time, but humans hate empty time. I think, oh, I can work out now. I don't use that time for fun. I work out or do other things, and it takes more time than before. And I use the time for useless things, but I feel must do something with empty time. I think this happens that anyone with a hobby who you save time and start a new hobby, you might lose time for reading. This happened to make a lot. To add strange products, it feels bad, but it can be helped. To bright night now before dinner. The sink was broken and water was dripping. It made a noise. My mom or dad got to close the tap. I try not to really drip, but it happened today. It's rare, but today my mom or dad didn't 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 go. Didn't go. I thought it was with bad luck before. When I was student, I never read my parent, but since I got depression, I rely on them a lot. I feel sorry for making them go while they're eating. I say bad things, but feel sorry too. Why does this happen at a time like this? Next, I respect Kenji Furuya. He cheated once and said sorry to his wife, but 10 years later, he was clearly cheating again. Everyone knew. They divorced. I think that's bad. Also, an idol from Nogizaka and her husband divorced even though she's so beautiful. Most people are around me divorced because of cheating. I think the system of marriage is weird. It's not just in Japan. It's everywhere. Most groups only have one husband and one wife. I haven't heard of many others way. There's no real conclusion here. My show name is set, but I wonder who I should pick a name for experts to use my story for research. I think of extreme things. I don't know who my target is. For dinner, we had chicken katsu. We have that more than pork katsu. Cause it's cheap. We had cabbage, kimchi, and the pork dish from yesterday. But the case in Kyoto, I've seen missing person case, but never something like this. Reality is stranger than stories. The result was just would would everyone thought so 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 I don't know how to feel today. I had a question. When a crime happens, people look into the past a lot. It's not like the past. So it doesn't matter. It's normal to look, but it's strange. It's the past. Humans say the past can't change, but if the way we see the past change, our action change too. That's strange, but that's how humans are. The past is gone, so it should be whatever. But the way we see the past changes our future. Who not people then look into this case, you can say to the past, so don't blame them. How we see the past is very important. I'm recording in the middle of the night, during dinner and daily life. There's no change in my actions. I check things. The trait of mine. I try to check rest over years. Sometimes I don't know who I should check, or I decide not to check for sudden actions, but the need to check who the if it if it's if it's okay not to check never goes away. The human nature, human change, so we always think about it. But who I check even little the same as before, I'm already checking. It just happened. I put my phone on the bed and thought, wait, did I need to check that? I think I shouldn't, but I also think I shouldn't be careless. These two feelings fight, but they're the same as always. I've been doing this for years. I'm doing this for years, so I'll just finish it. Next, I always say life has no meaning. I'm not trying to make people sad. I wanna say you can live strongly without help, but since I'm explaining it, that becomes a kind of help. It's hard to explain. Simply help is just a short-term thing, and you can live more strongly. That's why I say these things. I worried about how to say this in the show name. It's not just being dark. I'm not trying to teach people or help their mental health. It's not just a right philosophy. It's something I know called I quit religion. People who quit religion usually need help because their heart have trauma. I'm very different. But if I wasn't in a religion, I wouldn't think this way. I wouldn't think life has no meaning. Since I quit, I'm sure life has no meaning. I never felt empty or lost when I quit. From that moment, I lived more strongly. Next, people talk about kids having a future. They say it's even if there's no crime, kids have a future, but saying adults don't have much of the future is too sad. Adults have a future too. It's just a way of speaking, but it makes the adults have less of future than kids. It's strange. It sounds like a dark thing to say, but people don't mean it in that way. The low-level things to say, but people don't realize it. I know what they want to say, but you only say that for you compare kids and adults. Doesn't anyone say adults have a future too? When big problem happens, news shows every details. I wonder what the point is. This show details, but who got married or divorced? I think the useless NHK doesn't do that. For crimes, NHK might do it. But I think it's just for people who like to watch. Unless we learned our lesson to useless, someone died. But they used it's for people's interest to get more viewers. I'm not attacking them, but it feels strange. They're enjoying it. It's reality, not a story. Next, there's a popular song on TV. They said it's great cause the lyrics say you protect instead of I protect you. Do you think a song is great just because of that? The it's like a book. You can't say the great just because of one line. And it's music. You are the great just because of one line, and the music you are. I had nothing to do with the music. It shouldn't matter. That's why that popular, the weird people don't wanna listen to music. Then I have to attack these ideas. I'm recording at 2 a.m. I forgot to talk about one thing. It's interesting when you do something hard for the first time. You don't feel that hard, but when it becomes a habit, you think, oh, the hard time is starting when that time comes, so it feels hard. But when you're doing it, you are focused, so it's not that hard. Time passed first, even when doing hard things. Thinking that hard is just an idea. They're all memories. They're not that you have a hard things while doing it. You see your memory and think it's hard. Most people are wrong about this. That means we can make hard things feel not hard. It might not be easy, but it's possible. But you don't need to keep doing it. You can just stop. Next, my blanket often touched my mouth lightly. I remember why I changed the cover. I used this cover 10 years ago. Back then, it touched my mouth a lot too. I thought it was okay lately, but it was just make. Thanks to the other cover, I was shocked. Next, I always think about how to get more listeners, but if I only want numbers, I could just talk about Japanese culture or talent. I don't need to do that now. So do I really need to focus on numbers? I was watching a video and thought that humans are full of mixed feeling.